Welcome back, everybody. You got Will and I-Man here from the Block Runner. We're going to talk about Polkadot as well as the Ethereum wedge that broke out today.
That's right. Yeah, see,
Right.
my computer crashed. I lost all my charts, so you're gonna have to share your screen with me.
Yeah, yeah. Here we go. All
There we
right.
go.
So going back to the wedge that we formed yesterday, it broke out of that, and I guess we're in price discovery here.
Not quite, because we still haven't punched through that all-time high, right?
Yeah, I mean it. I think it did. It's just retraced. So yeah, there's going to be a little bit of a lag here.
I guess it definitely wasn't. I guess there's gonna be some reattempts. I don't know. Maybe I think Bitcoin did the same thing, right? It didn't just right away bust through its
Yeah.
20K quicker. So this is okay still. But
Yes.
what we need to talk about is the unpredictable nature of Ethereum, I guess, compared to Bitcoin, right?
Yeah, so because Ethereum has no cap, it's kind of hard to really predict where Ethereum is going to go. It's not like, Bitcoin has its own nonlinear regression curve or stock to flow models that we can follow and kind of gauge where Bitcoin is going to go, but we don't have that for Ethereum. So,
Yeah, I guess I'm not, I don't necessarily know exactly what the stock to flow model represents, but all I know is because of Bitcoin's hard cap and like its scarcity nature to it, like somehow mathematically you're able to, and I guess every 4 year halving cycle, right? I
yeah.
mean, who am I to argue against it at this point? It's been pretty reliable since
Yeah, dude, it's
its
spot on.
discovery. Yeah, it's pretty spot on. But the
Right.
thing is, yeah, I guess like common logic right now is everyone's kind of assuming Ethereum to at least double once it surpasses its all-time high point of
Right.
$1,400.
Yeah, I
But
mean, I'm hearing predictions between 10,000 and then 20,000. I saw one at 27,000. I was like, these are completely baseless
exactly,
predictions. Like, it's
yeah, I
pure
mean, like,
random shots.
yeah, that's the thing. Bitcoin has there's some kind of data there. Then there's these models that you could use to kind of time your entry and exit points, and they're pretty reliable. They're pretty spot on. But Ethereum doesn't have this. So whenever Ethereum enters its price discovery phase, nobody really knows what's
But
going to happen
you
to
know
it.
where these predictions come from? They come from the historical ratio of Bitcoin and Ethereum. And so, if let's say Ethereum gets to 200,000, and I mean, sorry, Bitcoin gets to 200,000, and Ethereum keeps its ratio between Bitcoin and I think it's like around 6%, 6 to 20% at all time highs, then you can kind of guess where Ethereum is going to be. And I think that's where they get it.
Okay, well, so then there is a little bit of data.
Yeah, and we can kind of take a look at that real quick here with Bitcoin, and let's go use Coinbase and ETH BTC, and let me give the weekly here. Yeah,
Yeah, so you could tell Ethereum is incredibly undervalued in comparison to Bitcoin, right?
yeah. So
So it's
we
got some
can,
catching ups to do for sure. Oh shit, are you
yeah.
drawing like a nice little?
Yeah, so this is the previous one, right? So I'm considering this wick here, and
Yeah.
so it sort of broke out there, right? So
So this could mean like an actual trend reversal
yeah,
where Ethereum kind of starts to finally close the gap
that's
between
right.
Bitcoin's dominance, right?
That's right.
So this might be a clear indicator of like this alt cycle everyone's been talking about. I mean, you still classify Ethereum as an altcoin, right? I mean, maybe not at this point. Maybe Ethereum is so foundational,
Yeah.
maybe it's not categorized as an alt at this point, but
No, but I think Ethereum does signal to all the other alts. So I mean, this means something. The fact that Ethereum has broken that reversal here at this point,
it's taken what, like almost
three
um,
years.
three and a half years, 3 years to do this. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, anytime like a major macro shift happens, like things change.
Yeah.
Up until this point, Bitcoin has been pretty dominant in the market. The last 8 to 10 months has been pretty much the Bitcoin show. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So if let's say if we average this ratio out, let's give it a a 6% ratio. So if it's a 6% ratio, then Bitcoin, when it's at 100,000, then Ethereum should be around $6,000, right?
Mhm.
And if it ever gets to 200, then we're looking at a $12,000 Ethereum potentially. And of course, that ratio changes.
Yeah, that's the
It
thing.
maxed out at what is it? It almost did the flippening here
Yeah, it did.
in April 2017.
April 2017.
Yeah.
I think that's around like the Dow hackening timing.
No, that's not Dow hack. That's not 2017.
Yeah, dude. Well, okay, I don't necessarily know, but yeah, at some point Ethereum was rising while Bitcoin wasn't so much.
Yeah.
Ethereum early 2017, the show was Ethereum. Bitcoin not so much. Bitcoin didn't really take off until the tail end of that cycle. But right now it's kind of inverse, which is kind of interesting to see. And that's what we were trying to make that connection yesterday. It's kind of like Polkadot has kind of been seeing like similar movement to what Ethereum has in 2017. As far as like being that altcoin catalyst. You know what I mean? So, but maybe not. Maybe finally, once Ethereum breaks through this all-time high threshold, who knows how crazy it can get.
But yeah, I don't know. This could be an outlier here, like a glitch for Coinbase.
Yeah, you're right. That could be what happened.
But yeah, we're getting a historical breakthrough here for Ethereum. But that's not the point of this conversation. We want to talk about Parachain.live. So,
okay, yeah. Speaking of Polkadot.
Yeah, so what's the point of this site? So Parachain auctions are still in development stage and such projects have not finalized all the details. Parachain Live will continuously update. So we got a list of projects who are trying to secure a Parachain slot.
Yeah, so you have Polkadot and Kusama. So we've been talking about I think a lot of people don't understand like the value add to the token of holding DOT and Kusama.
Right.
In the sense that in order for you to participate into these parachain lending offerings, I think they're coining the term IPOs for these. I mean, I don't know if you could really run with IPO because that's already like well adopted into like mainstream finance, right?
Right.
I mean, why the fuck not, dude? I mean, let's just call them IPOs, initial parachain offerings.
Right.
But essentially, these are the token allocations that all these future Polkadot projects are gonna use as lending rewards to the DOT and Kusama holders who want to exchange or not exchange. See, that's the crazy thing. You're locking up your DOTs and your Kusamas, and you're receiving the native token to whatever project it is you're locking it towards.
Yeah, so we got the different categories of these different projects, and then we have a Parachain crowd loan token allocation. So this means that 15% of the crowd loan gets used to secure a Parachain slot.
Yeah, for Moonbeam.
For Moonbeam.
Like notice each project has a different allocation, right? So every project has their maximum total supply of tokens. But traditionally, like if you're evaluating any ICO, they're all going to have a tokenomics model, right? And they're all going to have an allocation pool. And usually it's like 15% goes to pre-sale investors, right? That seems like industry norm. Like we're pretty comfortable with seeing that. Like, okay, that's a pretty reasonable number. If it's anything above 30%, that's when we start raising red flags, right? Like, oh man, that's a little too much. We're going to see a lot of selling activity once this token enters the market. But anyways, outside of that, this is like a whole new, I guess, realm of allocation that we're not used to,
Yeah, so the circulating supply, so some of these tokens or some of these projects have released a token. So we have these tokens public, but a lot of them, like Moonbeam, doesn't have a token public yet. So we're speculating that through this crowd loan offering, this Parachain loan allocation is where you'll be able to get these tokens potentially airdropped, right?
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be Initially, I thought they would just kind of allocate the tokens off the rip at some point, right? Like 15% gets allocated, but you have to lock up your tokens for 2 years, and I guess everyone who does that would immediately get their tokens, but I don't think that's the case. If you scroll a little more to the right onto this chart, yeah, there's a reward vesting period to some of these. So you
Oh,
could see
interesting.
like Bifrost up there with the 24-month leasing period. That means the Bifrost platform, they're bidding for a 2-year parachain slot on the Polkadot network.
Right.
So you, as a Polkadot token holder, if you choose to allocate your tokens to this parachain lending offering, your tokens are locked up for 24 months. You're not going to get your principal back until that term expires.
Okay.
And then you see reward vesting 42 months, which is, how long is
4
that?
years.
Is that 4
No,
years?
no,
That's like 3.5
three and a
years,
half
right?
years. Yeah.
Okay. So that means this 10.8 million auction reward allocation, which is 13.5% of their total supply, it looks like that's going to be distributed among that 42-month vesting schedule. So what does that tell you? I mean, the greed in me kind of like wishes I can get my tokens up front, right?
Yeah,
especially
but that
if you're locking them up.
Yeah, but that means you can essentially dump them on the market, which drops the price and doesn't look good.
Which only hurts your token economy for the project you're locking for, right? Like,
right.
The idea is you want these projects to succeed, or else you wouldn't be locking so much value into them. So
right.
It makes sense for them to be vested for such long periods of time, just to kind of like damper that sell pressure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's good for the ecosystem as a whole.
And so we have two networks, Polkadot and Kusama. So there's a smaller list on Kusama, but Moonbeam, or in this case on Kusama's Moon River, is doing essentially the same thing, but on Kusama, a parachain loan or a crowd loan.
Yeah, I mean it's the same code, but on the what they call the testing environment of Kusama. But I mean, there's real value being staked.
Yeah.
Just like Moonbeam is going to need a ton of Polkadot value to secure a slot. Moon River is going to need a ton of Kusama value to secure a slot. So this is real value on these networks, you know.
Yeah.
So, but the fact that they're allocating 60% of their token supply to the parachain lending offering that's a big opportunity, you know. So, if you're paying attention and you participate, you know, you're gonna get an allocation, a pretty sizable allocation of this one.
Yeah, and this one it's vested over 24 months. So
Yeah.
I don't know if it's if you get a portion per month, or there's a cliff at 24 months that you get everything in 2 years, or not sure what the details are.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that either, because then that's just like that feels like hex to me, right? Like,
yeah,
if you lock up your hex or whatever for a year, and then all of a sudden you're gonna get airdropped your tokens, what happened to hex? Fucking massive 90% sell off, right?
right.
I don't think any like real
project would do that.
Yeah, any project who's concerned with like their actual ecosystem stability and growth would deploy some kind of mechanic like that.
Right.
So I'm assuming, yeah, there's probably going to be some kind of periodic vesting to that, or periodic allocation.
Yeah. Okay.
But either way, dude, like this is it. This is like, to me, this is the value proposition of being a Polkadot participant. You know, like getting in. Essentially, like this is the equivalent of getting into a pre-sale of like an ICO without actually having to exchange Ethereum for that native token. You know, you're not actually losing any value. All you're doing is locking it up for a period of time when you're going to get it returned to you. You know.
So it looks like some of these projects are skipping the Kusama network and jumping right into Polkadot.
Where do you see that?
It says here, Kusama, no. Centrifuge.
No, just no.
Arena, no.
Yeah, see, that's interesting. I wouldn't trust these projects then.
Yeah, it seems odd. I mean, why wouldn't you want to use a test net?
Yeah, but see, that's the thing that's so cool about Kusama. It's a test net, but with all the value incentives aligned, you know, just like a real mainnet does. Meaning, like, there's real token stakers there with real financial value at stake. So it's kind of like it's an opportunity for these projects to test their assumptions on what like how their ecosystem participants will behave, right?
But it's weird because it says testnet yes,
yeah,
but Kusama no on some of these cases. So maybe they have their own testnet, or I don't know.
Well, testnet's different. There's no value in the testnet, right? That's like being on Rinkeby.
Oh, that's true. That's true. That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah, everything's fake. Everything's fake value. So you're not really testing the incentive layer, right?
Yeah.
Because there's no real value being exchanged. But that's where the value of Kusama lies. Like you can test code, but with actual value implications embedded to it.
Yeah.
You know?
So no, it makes sense. It makes sense. Like if we go back to the project that we were working on with MetaZone, when you create something in Decentraland, there's a local version of your deployment, and then there's the live deployment within Decentraland in the plot of land. Exactly. And the two are different. Whatever you see in your local deployment is not always the same as when you see in live deployment. So, and it applies to pretty much every single project that you can run perfectly on the testnet, but when you go live, there's always like these wrinkles that you didn't account for. And so I think it would be important for all these projects to run on Kusama, get everything ironed out, and then
to find out what those wrinkles are, right?
Yeah, to find out what those wrinkles are.
Yeah, like if you're just assuming like testnet's enough and skipping over the Kusama going straight to mainnet, then I can imagine there's more. I mean, that's just higher risk. It means just less testing has been done. Like, like everyone's freaking out about this coronavirus vaccine, right? Not enough testing, not enough testing.
Yeah.
That's why everyone's kind of like apprehensive to stick that shit in your arm.
Yeah.
Same thing here. More testing the better.
But check this out, man. Ecosystem partnerships: Akala 20, Moonbeam 20.
Yeah. So this site alone is great. Parachain Live. Shout out to you or whoever made this.
Yeah.
Follow them on Twitter for sure. This is like a brand new platform. And I'm assuming it's only going to grow from here. As more and more projects start bidding for parachain slots, this site's only going to grow and become an even more valuable, resource. Look at that. They even got a wiki.
Yeah, let's see what a submission looks like. To assist you with submitting details, please refer to Parachain Live Handbook. So we got the project, we got the type of Kusama and Polkadot, ticker, logo, ecosystem. Okay, so pretty much everything's here. Okay. And the wiki. Oh, okay. So it just tells you details of each of the projects. Okay. Oh, this is cool. I like this.
Yeah.
So yeah. So definitely check out parachain.live and look at these different Polkadot projects that are actually trying to deploy onto Polkadot and actually trying to deploy on Kusama's live network.
Yeah, the only thing I see that's missing here is like a date. Probably because that information is not known yet, but I'm hoping like there's dates that get listed per project whenever they plan to actually, open up lockup.
Yeah.
For these slots,
And looks like mainnet on Kusama for Moon River is scheduled for March 31st, 2021. Man, this is like a wealth of information here, dude.
Yeah, no shit, right? And that's kind of been the struggle for me, like leading up to finding these things. It's been really hard to kind of find the right sources to kind of get a real grasp on what Polkadot's trying to achieve here.
Yeah.
It's very complex. It's very spread out.
For sure.
All the information. So yeah, we're gonna try our best to kind of bring all that information and like package it up for you guys as much as we can.
Yeah.
And all understand this shit better.
Yeah, this site has really helped a lot. Just because if you want to jump into this, I mean, you have to have DOT, and you have to have Kusama, and then through there, then you can stake onto these this crowd loan parachain offering IPOs. And so yeah, I mean, I think this has been really helpful kind of for me to understand like what's actually happening here.
Oh yeah, totally.
But yeah, let's call it here. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at the Block Runner and also at MetaZone.io. If you have any thoughts or comments or questions, let us know in the comments. And but yeah, I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.
All right, see you later. Peace.